Un défi maintenant avec Eventim, c'est juste le leader européen de la billetterie en Europe. Plus de 21 précisément, me semble-t-il, pays qui sont adressés, des centaines de millions de billets qui sont nécessairement en plus distribués. Donc autant de data à traiter, à consolider, et avec les dernières technologies. On va en parler avec nos deux speakers, une conversation en anglais, avec du coup que j'accueille nos deux speakers que j'invite à me rejoindre sur scène. So now, ladies and gentlemen, Carsten Weidman, Technological Alliance Manager of Exasol. You're welcome, sir. Come on stage. And Ulrich Fricke, Head of Data Warehouse Department of Eventim. We can applaudir. Applaudissez-les bien fort. This is for you. Welcome.
Alors, merci Guilhem. Bonjour, bienvenue, welcome to our little presentation on from chaos to order, how to manage complex situations with a small team. My name is Carsten Weidman.
And I'm Ulrich Fricke from Eventim.
And so from chaos to order, I guess that's something that we all would like to get to, right? When we look at today in the enterprise, we have often too many tasks and too little resources available. And then we have all that data that we need to use to make our, or base our decision making on that. And with that comes the additional complexity that we have more and more data sources available. We need to make more and more users or give more and more users access to that data. We need to create more and more reports, dashboards, complex analysis just to provide proper input for the complex decision-making of the business, so they can make better decisions. And that's why we want to look today at how a small team, like the one from Uli, can actually handle and manage this. And to begin with, Uli, why don't you just introduce or give a little introduction to what CTS Eventim is and what you do?
My pleasure. Yeah, what we do is we do help people have a good time. As you can see it here, we do organize concerts, and we do the ticketing for these concerts as well. At least we did so until 2 years ago. Then something happened. Oops. There we go. You all know about this. So this was a little bit unusual for us. So basically we had a break for 2 years, but now it's getting better. So a little bit about Eventim. We started in Germany and branched out to most of Europe at this point, and also beyond that to the United States, for example. And you may know a couple of brands we use, like France Billet, which we are a partner of, but also Ticket Corner in Switzerland, for example. And yeah, that's basically Eventim in a nutshell.
Thank you. And what kind of service do you and your team provide to enable Eventim to do all that business?
Yeah, so first of all, we have two very important tasks. So business is very much local in our countries. So each country is extremely different from one another. For example, France and Germany. And also the local business entities are very independent of each other and from headquarters. So I'm part of a business unit called Information Science. We do provide data-driven services for the complete group, both headquarters and the countries. We are about 30 people in total, and we do the usual stuff: business intelligence, data warehousing, analytics, web analytics, but also, let's call it a little bit more fancy stuff, recommendation systems for our web pages and our newsletters. And we are very well connected, as usual, with such an entity to the whole group. So we do talk a lot to the IT and the security guys, obviously, but also the usual stakeholders, e-commerce, sales, finance, as well as partners, because partners is really what drives our business. They do the concerts, we do the ticketing for the most part.
So as you can see, it looks not that simple, and therefore I would like to ask Uli, what kind of challenges do you face providing all these services?
Yeah, we do have a couple of these. So that's actually how it should look like. Everything is green, growing, everybody is happy. So you do want to prevent that to becoming something like this. You do want to put out the fire as quickly as possible or not have a fire at all. Because if you don't do that, then your customer will at some point look like this. And you don't want that. So what you actually want with this kind of services are very happy and relaxed customers, like that. So the challenges we have is basically we have a rather small team. We have 25 countries to support and a lot of business entities. And that's Stuart, by the way. I guess a couple of you know him. So we do have a couple of DevOps engineers to do the technical data integration topics. We have a couple of data management engineers to actually work with the data, clean it, cleanse it, but whatever you do with it. And we have also some experts for BI, so that's an example out of the 30 people. And that's actually just 9 people. And they do that for everything. So we really have to make sure that we can leverage these resources as efficiently as possible.
And is there more?
Yeah. So they're not doing engineering stuff, they also do training of our business partners, they do consulting and support. And as you all know, business can be pretty unpredictable, especially in the last couple of years. So you may know, okay, that's my next challenge, I have to climb this hill. If you've done that, then you may actually notice, oh well, there's a couple of more hills to climb, a couple of more islands, and you usually also encounter some nasty surprises on the way. So you have to be prepared for that as well.
Okay, so now that we've seen the challenges, I guess there are also a couple of requirements that you have to fulfill. Maybe you can talk a little bit about these.
Of course. So high level, we do have 4 requirements. So we actively need to support the local business. First of all, the services, like business intelligence services, tools, but also with our expertise. So if one of our countries wants to set up, I don't know, a new service for our partners, then we usually talk with them and take part in the architectural decisions to make sure that we do it in the most proper way. We also support strategic projects. So we are very happy that we could announce a couple of weeks ago that we are doing, together with France Billet, the ticketing for the Olympic Games in Paris. Very big project, will keep us busy for a couple of years. Then, obviously, we need to be flexible. There's always some new business opportunities to come along with you where we need to react to. And last but not least, we really have to be cost effective. So we have a small team, so we're not going to grow a lot in the next couple of years, but we also don't or can't expand our technology stack by a huge amount of money.
Great. So I guess in the talk we're going to focus on 2 areas of the requirements, right? Maybe you can just show the slide so the
yeah.
people should see that too. So today we're going to focus on the tech part, and then there's lots of automate and organize, and we'll secondly focus on the self-service part. But so I would say we start bottom up. So maybe just take a look at the tech part, what you did there, what you do there, just to make sure that your team can handle all these requirements and the challenges.
Yeah, and what's really important, if you look at these 4 different areas, they're obviously quite interconnected. So you can't really change a lot in the tech stack if you also not do some organizational changes at the same time to make it more efficient. So it's not about optimizing each of these individually, but rather look at the complete picture. So we start with the technology stack. So that's our technology stack a couple of years ago. So we had on the left side Exasol as our data warehouse. We had a Hadoop system as well for, say, non-structured data. We use Kafka. We have a scheduling system in the middle called BigSuite. And we have a couple of reporting tools and scripting tools. So, and that's already a lot if you don't have that many people. And at some point we realized we actually do not want to have more tools than people, because it's pretty hard to get into the details of each tool and really use a tool to its full potential if you have, I don't know, 5 of them to support. So we actually decided to reduce the number of tools. So we already discontinued the Hadoop system and moved everything either to AWS or to Exasol. We are in the process of migrating 2 of our legacy reporting tools, and we're also getting rid of one of our script languages, so Perl will be completely replaced by Python. And that, once we are done with that, it will be a lot easier. And yeah, we are not finished yet, so hopefully we will be early next year.
Okay. The second part was self-service. What is going on there?
Yeah, self-service is the other big lever. So that's Stuart again. One is missing, maybe he's on vacation or something like that. So let's concentrate on one of these guys. So if we don't have self-service, then he would need to do all the work by himself. That's obviously not going to scale terribly well, especially if you start setting up new countries or new projects. So we actually want Stuart to tell the other people or enable the other people to do as much as possible by themselves. So actually something like that. So we're going to multiply Kevin's knowledge into the organization by local business analysts on the one hand, but also by local BI people in other countries, for example, which we're going to train.
Cool. Great. With that, we're already at the end. We didn't know how fast.
That's one more slide.
One more slide? Okay, I'm sorry.
So when we thought that through, or in the last couple of years, we came up with a kind of level system regarding self-service. So we started with the usual setup. Okay, let's get a BI tool, get a data warehouse, give the people access to, and then they can build their own reports and dashboards. That's what a lot of people are doing. It's not terribly exciting. So at some point we realized that that's not enough, because some parts of the organization actually needed more freedom to do more fancy stuff by themselves. So level 1 is they get their own more or less independent BI project. They can actually integrate local data, do a little bit more by themselves. That was what we have done basically until 2 years ago. And then we realized that also not enough when we started to open up shop in Brazil. Brazil is also very special from our perspective, at least from Germany. So we realized we actually needed to have a complete local data warehouse system with only the Brazilian data at that point. And currently we are doing that also for other countries. And that's going to be interesting because it opens up a lot of new possibilities. So first of all, we have a very complex data model and complex source systems. So the data processing time in our global data warehouse is dominated by the large countries. On the other hand, the local business in the small countries, they need to provide a lot of more services to our partners. So they really, really need real-time data, but also 100% accurate data. And that's what we are doing. So we run exactly the same code, the same data warehouse code in the local data warehouse Exasol instance at AWS. So we can support that quite easily. And they have the benefit of getting much more up-to-date data instead of a couple of times per day. We're going to do that every 30 minutes. And in addition, also a subset of the data every 2 minutes. So that's really a big step forward for us. And it's very cost effective for AWS because you pay for what you take. So if you need a bigger server, then the country pays a little bit more and gets the data even faster. So that's nice. Not yet the end. So we are planning also going one step further because, as I said earlier, business is local. So we do have a couple of projects in the countries coming up where they want to use special services on top of the data warehouse, like a BI service, a special BI service for partners. So we are actually providing them with the pre-configured data layer, reporting layer, we call that, which they can then use in a BI tool of their choice. If they want to go that way, then they have the data. They don't need to care about all the details, how the data is combined, how to connect to the source system. So it's a little bit like data mesh, if you will. So we are keeping the complexity away from them. And that's actually something we're going to prepare right now with a data dictionary and lots of documentation. which is also helpful for us, for the team, obviously. Yeah, that's the idea for next year. And yeah, thanks a lot. That's the end. So we are on our journey, and let's hope it will end as positive as we think it will be.
Thank you, Uli. Yeah, sorry, of course, you can applaud. Just one thing very briefly, if you want to know more details about this, we are having a masterclass that starts in 30 minutes where Uli will take us a little bit deeper into what you just saw in those 15 minutes. And you're more than welcome. We also have a booth upstairs on the 3rd floor, or +1, I think it is, where you can also pass by, and we're more than happy to answer all your questions. On parle aussi français. Just for the presentation, we did it in English. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, both of you, for sharing those insights. Deeply inspiring for us.